I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Adequate notice of this meeting has been provided as is required by Chapter 231, Public Law 1975, with respect to the Holy Distribution to public state. This announcement must be entered into the minutes of this meeting. And for those attending today's meeting, please be aware that all board meetings are recorded via audio. Roll call, please.
Chairman Engel?
Here.
Commissioner John?
Here.
Commissioner Katz?
Here.
Commissioner Moskowitz?
Present.
Commissioner Benjamin?
Here.
Commissioner Snyder?
All business. Oh, adoption of the minutes.
I move that we, adopt the minutes of May 29th, June 10th, June 17th, and June 19th. Wait, is there another one? No, that's it.
And a second.
Second.
Roll call.
Chairman Engel?
Yes.
Commissioner John?
Yes.
Commissioner Katz?
Yes.
Commissioner Moskowitz?
Yes.
Commissioner Benjamin?
Yes.
All business, no. New business, redistricting.
Yes, Commissioners, this was just an item that was brought up in one of the previous meetings that the Commissioners just asked to have added to a future meeting, particularly the August board meeting, to kind of either further talk about or take some more information. So again, that's the reason for its inclusion today.
Any discussion?
No, this way, we have 20% of our people voting by mail. A considerable number, I don't know, last November was 10 or more, no, 10, 15% voting by early voting. And now in the districts, we allow people to vote in any voting machine in the room. So I think there's a lot less cause for being able to do this. So I would, at this point, I would just hold it.
At this time?
That's my suggestion.
Anybody else?
Oh, actually, there's one more thing. For any of the very largest districts, we should ask our poll clerks in the November election whether there's any crowds that there are issues, so that we'll know whether we should do something with those. That's fine.
We could do that.
It might be something to revisit, every year or every couple of years with all the development going around in all these towns. Because I know one district in my town, they're putting up quite a bit of housing, which might change that. One polling location is very crowded to begin with, so it might be something later on after.
I would suggest, like in that district, just ask your poll clerkers for the November election whether there's lines of any consequence. So we just know whether we're there.
Yeah, I think you're mixing two concepts. One is changing the district number doesn't change where a person's going to vote, because if you change, or you split 12 or into two sites, the same people are still going to vote at the same site.
But it doesn't
So
have
that's,
they don't have to be at the same polling location.
no, that's my point. So
You might need
changing
another
it because of the larger district makes, to me, no sense, because you still have the same issue. And I think that the most important thing we did do was allow for vote by mail, as you indicated. And I don't know that the early voting, I'm still out on that one, but at least it will alleviate some of the stress during regular voting time.
Any further discussion? Okay, let's move on. Kingston Firehouse Board. Yes.
Commissioners, you have kind of a document before you to kind of discuss a potential move. As kind of a follow-up, spoke to the Republican chair from South Brunswick, very difficult person, but she was in favor of it. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get an approval from the Democratic chair regarding the move, so I would either recommend at this point either tabling this discussion for a future meeting, which time we get feedback from the Democratic chair regarding that possible move, or again, maybe hold this till next year, which is, as commissioners have said, would be the more appropriate time to make polling location changes. And again, the only reason we kind of brought it was at the behest of the municipal clerk, who had no issue with moving it from the Kingston Firehouse to the high school.
Our typical, our typical procedure when we change polling locations, unless there's it burned down or something else happened like that, is we don't do that between the primary and the general, because we don't want.
There are current issues there, though.
I know, the current issues have been there for 3 years or 4 years.
Correct.
It's not any more an emergency now than it was last year, a year before, or the year before that. The reason we do it pre-primary is that
No, I understand.
it's voter confusion.
I understand.
I understand.
But,
It's voter confusion.
There's connectivity issues.
Yes.
That are also at play
Yes,
here.
and they've been there 2021, 2022, 2023, 2024.
I know, that's
Yeah.
where you're
So-
bringing it forward to
Yes,
rectify
so I
it.
think we should be changing it, but I think we should do it in the normal process for, not to avoid voter confusion. And we also should have at least the Democrat chair not objecting. And we don't have that either, so, okay?
I agree with that part. We certainly need the other input in order to be consistent with what we do, how we do it. But I do think that connectivity issues is probably an emergency. So if this is something that can be fixed before then, I'd certainly like to revisit it before then if it's not too late. So, but, you know, we have to hear from the other chair.
I mean,
What about
what
this?
qualifies as hearing from the Democratic chair?
Email,
Commissioner
text,
Snyder?
phone number? Or-
I mean, I spoke to him today, so, and he's fine.
Okay.
We had a response.
Yeah, I mean, he speaks to you, I'm good with it, I just, but like, he's good. He's all right.
I think we should do something about it though, with the communication issue.
Yeah, what does everyone think of that?
Both clerks weren't able to reach us.
I mean, I do question as to why we didn't bring this up prior to the primary, but since there doesn't seem to be any opposition locally to moving it, I don't have any opposition to moving it.
I don't have I think we should probably do it in our normal course for voter confusion, but I have no, if everybody, if people want to vote to do it this November, I'm not going to object, but I don't think we should keep that as a format. I think we should keep the process, generally speaking, keep the process the way we've been doing it. So if somebody wants to move that.
Commissioner
Will the
Benjamin?
county send out a notice to those people that the location is changing?
Municipal clerk, I think.
Municipal clerk. We would provide the list to the clerk, but then notify the voters of the change. We would also provide notice at the Kingston First Aid that the location is moved on election day,
It would be on the sample ballot too.
and the sample ballot as
Get
well,
on the sample.
And signage.
and signage.
Yeah, I'd move to do this now.
Yeah, me too. Can we take a vote?
Can I just ask one?
Oh, sorry, Commissioner.
That's all right. My question is about the first line that you wrote into here, which said the municipal clerk, when informed of the concerns. So she had no,
Well, I think she was aware from previous conversations, but in terms like when we kind of broached it with her, what her approach would be for November, she said that she would have no issues in terms of, her preference would be to do it for the general election as opposed to the
And
primary.
we have the Republican chair here.
Yes.
You have a motion in a second, might as well just.
A motion to make the change to the South Brunswick record.
no,
Oh, sorry.
Second?
we did not. I'll second the motion that was just made.
I didn't make
We did make the motion, and I seconded
All right.
it. Now we can vote on it.
Roll call?
Chairman Engel?
Yes.
Commissioner Jones?
Yes.
Commissioner Katz?
Yes.
Commissioner Moskowitz?
Yes.
Commissioner Commissioner Rea?
Yes.
Commissioner Steiner?
Yes.
You know what?
Okay, administration reports. Steve, you want to start?
Sure. This month, we're pretty much flipping over the residue. We actually finished that because this meeting was supposed to be last week, so that's why it's on there. So I'll just pass the primary stuff that we're prepping for the general. We already pretty much finished up voting machine repairs. We're doing PPM maintenance currently as we speak. Already did a round of charging the voting machines. And we received the 3,640 machine batteries, which was very heavy. They are but they're like this big in a box, and they're really heavy. So we got them this week as well, which is great. We will go ahead and change those batteries in December after the election. We like to do that on a 5-year schedule, and this way our charging of the battery is always up to par. That's all I got.
Chief Clerk report?
The beginning part of my report just talks about the return sample ballots from the primary. There are 11,485. We did address changes, some are inactive, and the vote by mail ballots that came back and the applications, we completed that. The poll worker lists for the general were due Monday the 11th, and I gave you a list of the ones that came in. And another big project we're working on are the voters that have no birth dates. So back in the day, you didn't have to have a birth date in the system, so we're trying to work on that. And then letters will be going out asking for their birth date. That's it.
Actually, I have a question.
Yeah.
The New Brunswick Republican list is supposed to be in. There are essentially no Republican chair in New Brunswick. If I understand, it came in from the
It comes
municipal
from the
clerk is
municipal
doing
clerk,
it.
correct.
But the municipal clerk has put in, they're not allowed to have, by law, more than half of one party. And almost all of the people that are appointed apparently are Democrats. So it's not,
Angela Ramos does that, and she checks them, and she'll notify them.
what, that they're.
If there's too many Dems or too many Republicans, she will notify them.
Yes, but they have, it's like 10 Republicans and like 50 or 60 Democrats.
I can look at the list. We haven't gotten a list yet.
Okay. It's got it, and I don't want Democrats that just changed to Republican on this to be a Republican vote.
Yes, we're aware of that.
Unaffiliated is fine.
Yep.
But the law is very clear, not more than 2 from either of the 2 parties can be poll clerks. More than half can be poll clerks in any election district.
Okay.
Okay?
They can be unaffiliated.
They can be unaffiliated. If you can't get members of that party, you're permitted to put it unaffiliated, but you have to make an effort to do that, to get the members of the party. They don't have to be from the town, they got to be from the county.
I just have 2 items. One is an item which you may want to discuss at the future meetings, just informing commissioners. I did the email. The governor signed a piece of legislation which could extend the distance from which the entrance of a polling location for electioneering from 100 feet to 200 feet, whether it's applicable to election day or early voting. So again, just providing information to the board about that. Second one is ES&S is again requesting to Middlesex County as well as other counties under their purview an update to their poll books. Again, this received certification from the state on the 28th. This version would be 7280. It's already been updated in Atlantic, Monmouth, and Union. They've done some mock elections in Monmouth as well as in Union County regarding a new version. And again, in terms of the poll book performance, very promising results regarding that update, along with the changes that we made internally in terms of how we updated the poll book file prior to an election. So we think with the intermittent updates prior to election day, so that the poll books don't have as much information to download on the beginning of the day, especially early voting, as well as this update. Again, in talking to my compatriots in other counties, we all believe this will finally result in the poll books that we want for Middlesex County, is poll books that work pretty well. So again, the primary was a very good outcome in terms of the intermittent updates. with the, the update of the software, we think we'll have a, knock on wood, this is a very good result for the general election.
Could I suggest that we modify the agenda, that we do commissioner comments and public comments before we go to executive session? So that we-
Commissioner comments?
I do. Under the new poll workers, they're gonna be tested before they go out to make sure they all work correctly and we don't have a problem that day.
That's our job, we'll make it happen.
Any other comments?
They have 2 weeks ago.
We go to public comment.
Public comments. Yes.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Dennis Wu, 8 Azalea Court, East Brunswick. I'm here talk about the correct voter roll. Recent finding, actually I sent Tom an email in your official mailbox. I basically found about the 6 person in Oak Ridge using the same address but it's non-residential. And also 8 person using the PO box as their registered address. Okay, so that's what I found it based on the March record. Before I come in here, I checked with July, and they are still all active in there. I was want to ask the question about how this office, what kind of procedure this office will actively get rid of correct the voter roll information. So I very encouraged Linda talk about he's working on the voter without birthday. So that was good one because I see a bunch of those kind of information in the record as well. I also see some dead people still in there. Actually, dead. I mean, anybody exceed 100 years old and even older. So I just want to get your attention, Tom. Maybe you can look for your mailbox on August 5th. Okay, I send it to you. Title Middlesex voter roll. So we can check it out, pass on to Linda.
Well, I'll comment on the second part, and then I'll let Linda handle the first part, because I shared that with you. In terms of and again, Linda made it before, and she knows a little bit better about the backstory in terms of that. But the 1800 is kind of a placeholder date of birth regarding people who were migrating over from the old system.
Before we were a statewide
Before we were a
system.
statewide system. So, and again, we're going through that list as you heard about earlier. But Linda, if you want to answer the first part. in terms
For
of-
the PO box, so the voters that you gave to us, they're in as incomplete missing domicile now. So when they go to vote, they're gonna have to show proof of address.
So basically, I will see them. So they were still as an active.
Not active, incomplete, it's different.
Okay,
So
because today before I come here, at least in July records, they still show active status.
We worked on the ones you had provided to us, and then we had additional ones that we made the changes to.
Okay. No, hopefully
But
I will see
actually-
in the August report. So.
But the incomplete will not be in the poll book, right? If they're incomplete, they won't be in the poll book. So all those voters that you provided to us with the PO box, not a domicile, are in the system as incomplete. And they need to show something of their address, so we can make the corrections or the changes.
Okay. I'm glad you guys working.
But we
on
found
that.
other ones, other than the ones that you had given to us, we found other ones. additional
Okay,
ones.
great. That's excellent. Thank you.
Thank you. Charlie?
Sure.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Apologies for my informal attire. Madam Chair, going forward, could you please direct the Board Secretary to send me the agendas for each board meeting when it's ready?
You ready?
We posted online.
It's online, I
Posted
think, right?
online.
Yes, and I'm asking if you could please send it to me via email. Could you do that?
Yeah.
Great.
But I don't get it till I get here.
Okay. It's a good reminder if I get it, and then I can look at it right away and see what's on it. And, that way I won't miss a meeting, or I'll have the maximum time to prepare. So,
Well, I'm going to break in there, is that it is posted online, and my only concern about that is that we're kind of busy before board meetings, and again, I don't want, and again, if Maria is unable to share that with you, then that becomes a thing for a meeting. And again, to the best extent possible, we do try to get the information on the website and the agenda and materials. So, and again, I know we have other people here who come to our meetings pretty regularly. I would like, and again, the website is the best avenue to have that for the public. And again, I'm fine if she shares, but again, I just don't want to put her on the spot or us to be on the spot. If we don't get it to you, that then becomes an issue.
Fair enough, I'm just asking as a courtesy, it doesn't have to be a legally binding thing, but.
And there are changes, so again, if
Of course, I'm not gonna hold you to
Yeah.
it, but I would just like to have it, and if you can, I appreciate it. So you can do that.
May I ask you?
Yeah.
Do you have the list of our scheduled meeting dates?
I do, but like, for instance, this one changed, right?
Correct.
No, this was adopted,
Okay.
when we adopted, this date was adopted.
But that was done.
When we did it January, February, when we
Okay.
adopted the
I
schedule.
just know I called the office
Yeah.
and, was told it is the 7th, and then I called the day of, because I didn't see the agenda on the website, and then
They were
I was told it was
mistaken,
changed.
because the proposed date initially was August 7th, but when we adopted the calendar, the commissioner requested that it be changed, and that's, so the calendar itself as adopted was August 14th. So I apologize for the mistake that you were
I do
given.
apologize, these things happen. I just wanted to be clear about this
I know,
because,
that's,
I imagine some of the commissioners must get the agenda via email before the meeting. Right. Okay. So when you send it to them, if you could just include me or send it to me, that would be much appreciated. Thank you. Middlesex County has 5 municipalities with ward-based elections, 20 that don't. For the 20 that don't, when was the last time there was any redistricting done?
We haven't done it since
It would be prior to, would be under my
the other
predecessor.
administrator.
So must be before
2018.
2018, so I'll just say my experience, I've been involved in elections in New Brunswick since 2008, and the districts have not changed one bit. The city has changed quite a bit, and this is the issue that we're getting at with some areas now have a lot more voters than other areas, and this is why I was suggesting that the board should do redistricting at this time for those municipalities, and I heard about maybe 2 or 3 minutes of discussion today about it. Can you tell me, was there any other effort made to pursue this or look into this? Did you look at the statutes I gave you? Did you contact council? Did you evaluate the possibility of doing this in any other way, or just the 2 or 3 minutes of discussion today?
Mr. Moskowitz, did you want to speak?
One person, one vote. I'm not entirely sure. That doesn't change whatever district I live in. Conversation is open continually in this whole country as well.
Is it not true that each election district elects 2 committee persons for both of the 2 major political parties? So if I live in the district with 1,500 people, our 1,500 people only get 2 Democratic committee people. If I live in a
Each of
district with
those
300
15
people,
So sorry to
then
interrupt you, but you're not addressing my point. My voice is heard whether I'm a committee person, I'm not a committee person. I'm sure yours is too, knowing your personality, right?
I don't know.
So the
I don't
point
know.
is, your focus on changing and realigning districts makes less sense to me than should be a need to make sure that one vote and that everybody's notified about those votes.
Forgive me, I don't understand your
You and I
point, if you
can-
want to
Well, I don't
elaborate.
understand your need to change the district line necessarily, since every person who does vote and every person has an opportunity to express their opinions about that. Why don't we
And again, if
discuss
you'll
that
let-
at a
if
separate
you'll let me
time,
finish
because I don't think that other commissioners share my sense.
Can I say something?
Please.
Remember, I just brought it up a little while ago about,
Development,
and she
yeah.
did bring a good point to me, is you don't have to redistrict, you don't have to cut districts. As long as, to me, as long as you have places for them to vote. If you get too crowded in one area because you've got overdevelopment there, then maybe you need to open another polling site.
My point
But-
is different.
Okay, I know yours, but
Oh,
I'm
do
just
you? Okay,
saying, like,
'cause-
I understand yours.
You have committee people in the Republican
have
Party,
committee
right?
people.
So if you have one district that has 1,500 people, they only get 2 committee people. whereas the people who have 5 times less population also gets 2 committee people. That's unfair. So you see what I'm saying? Because the Democratic Party and the Republican Party committee people both have power to nominate candidates, to install people into the government when there's a vacancy. And it's unfair for some parts of my city to have more power than others because of this disparity. And so while yes, the voting places might remain the same, and that's an important consideration, apparently another consideration would be staffing, right? Because each district has a certain number of poll clerks, right? It's 2 or 4 total, right? So if you have more districts, you have more poll clerks you have to hire. If you have 1,500 people in one district, they only get the same 4 poll clerks. I'm just saying it's clearly a disparity. I have no agenda other than equality here. I want to make sure that people in all parts of my city are having the same representation. And in the way it works now is we do not have that for the committee, for the party committee. We do not.
But everybody has a choice to
They're
vote
all
for their
voting.
committee people in that area.
Of course. But there are 2 seats for 1,500 people, and there are 2 seats for 300 people.
Are you a committee person?
No, ma'am.
Okay, and you think that you feel somewhat differently about that? Did you run for committee
I've run several times, yes.
and you haven't won?
That's correct. I've
So
not-
then
I'm a
obviously
committee
the
person.
public surrounding you doesn't share your view or position about making their representation.
I don't believe this was an issue in the elections, actually. I don't think anybody really brought this up. I've been bringing it up to you because you have the power, and in fact, a specific statute empowers you to do this if there are such disparities. And I've provided the data. I don't know if you reviewed the data I provided, but the data shows the disparities, and I'm just asking you to take action on it. Apparently, this board used to do that under the prior administration, and for some reason, you stopped doing it. So I know it was before your time that you were on the board, but I
It had to
don't...
be, certainly, I was here before the prior administration.
Well, when was the last time you did redistricting?
When, with the consensus. Now, we worked with the 5 districts to which you referred originally.
Right, how about for the other 20 towns like you?
Because that needs to work. I was, yes. I don't
Very
know,
s-
when was,
Commissioner Katz?
May-
we did the 5
Charlie,
that are
very simply
wards.
put, party offices are not deemed to come under the one man, one vote U.S. Supreme Court case. It's not for those purposes. The purposes of the election districts is essentially for the convenience of the voters.
There you go.
It's not based on equal distribution. I've been in this game for 60 years, 61 years, whatever it is, and it has never been set up where, oh, we have to adjust all of the districts so they're all the same size. Wards, where people vote by wards, we do that every 10 years post-census. But for committee seats, it's not. The party offices are simply not covered by that.
They may not be covered by that Supreme Court case. However, the state statute empowers you to do it. Are you saying it was a waste of time when this board did it in the past?
It doesn't mean that
Meaningless or unimportant?
No, it doesn't mean that we can't do it, but the circumstances have changed as to whether we need to do this. Because when the statutes were put in place, there was no early voting, 15% last year. The only absentee was limited absentee with reasons, which was a very tiny percentage. Now it's at least 20%. Now it's about 20%. So we're talking about 35% of our voters vote other than on election day. And because of our machines, we no longer need the voters to vote on the individual machine in their election district. So if there are 3 or 4 districts in the thing, they can go to any one of those machines, which also eliminates the lines and the delays. That's why, that's the change in circumstances. And every election district that we add costs the taxpayers a lot of money for each election, even if for nothing else. We have machine, we have 4, 6 poll clerks, we have all of the other expenses involved. It may be, and that's why I suggested on our very largest districts that we ask our poll clerks to see if in fact we're having a problem in terms of long lines. If we are, then those districts probably should be done. But for any other purposes, it shouldn't be, in my view, because we don't, based on the way our elections are run now. That's why,
Your time is up.
Can I come back?
You can come back when everybody else.
so much for
5 minutes.
That's a hard one. Wow, okay. I don't want to, I might table some of the things I was going to talk about. Because okay, so I promised this girl I was going to say something, so I'm going back to the primaries, and I don't know.
I thought you said prom.
Primary,
I got
I'm sorry, I know my voice is a little hoarse, I'm sorry. Okay, so I just wanted to say that I visited all the 10 early voting polling locations as a challenger, and there was this girl that stood out to me, and her name is Ann, and she's at the Woodbridge location, and she's a Democrat, by the way, because I am. It doesn't matter, you know, I work with poll workers and supervisors, she was wonderful. She's the only person that asked me for a driver's license, like with my badge. I thought that was excellent. When I first said, oh, I gotta go back to my car and get it, I think at first she thought I was a little upset. I'm like, no, I'm really happy you're doing that. So I just wanted to say that she was really excellent. The other one that stood out to me, of course, I think her name was Kim, and she's in Piscataway. I think she's actually a board of election worker, but she was actually really good also. I was impressed by that. Okay, so the other thing I wanted just to, how many birthdays Linda, do you have to correct? How many birthdays you said with the, and it has
What did I say?
It was about 1,800.
1800? Okay, I was just
1,800.
I feel for that. Okay, oh no, 1800, okay. And I just wanted to know real briefly, machine 1701. I actually sent something on that. That was the machine that was taken out of commission on early voting because it wouldn't start up on, I believe, Friday morning. And I know that you were having issues with, you have to start it up to do the closing process. I did send an email asking whether or not there could be like an audit to make sure that the count on the tapes and the stick,
There is, we have to give it to that.
No, I actually sent it to you.
Okay.
We had to give it to Linda, so she had all the counts and everything.
No, but I'm just saying what happens to the machine, because I was wondering if it was going to be taken out of service, like service before it was put back in commission. I was wondering what is going to happen to that machine.
The machine was repaired, we just.
Oh, it's repaired?
Yeah,
Okay.
at that moment, we don't do repairs on site.
No, I know that.
That's not a good idea.
No, I wasn't asking you to do that. I was concerned at why that particular thing happened. Could they isolate the problem? Were they able to understand why the machine just flipped out?
We found the cause, so we took care of it.
And it was?
It's just a problem with the basic operating system.
Okay. Okay, so the other thing I just wanted to, let's see, how much time do I have left? Give me the time check.
2.5 minutes.
2.5 minutes, okay, here we go. All right, so, all right, I just wanted to talk quickly about the site. Thank you so much, Tom, for bringing that, sending that email out. I missed a fellow fine chair when I saw it. I was really happy because that is my polling site, District 3, and I know it is.
It's gone.
Yeah, I thought that the location that was 0.8 miles away, I thought there was something that you have to move like a mile away. I don't know if that would have caused the same problem. I don't have a problem with being absorbed. The only thing I do want to say with the South Brunswick High School that I have seen in the past, okay, the problem with the South Brunswick High School is and I hope they do not have a meeting on election day, because one time they had an in-teacher session and there was 800 teachers at that point. And so it was, you couldn't find parking. Voters were driving around 3 times to try to find parking space. I'm not even making this up. At the primary, when I was a challenger, I do talk fast, by the way. I saw myself on your tape. But I worry about the time. I actually can talk slower. But at the primary, there signs. There was only one sign by the entrance, and the other ones were knocked down. And people.
They were knocked down, but were they there?
They were there.
I can't stop winning.
No, it wasn't. I don't know if it was kids or something. All I'm trying to say is that it was.
Did they appropriate amount of signs? Yes or no?
What?
I can't
work on that.
Okay, I know where the polling location is, so I was being a challenger, so I just went to the location to observe,
But
right?
keep that in mind, and you're gonna, obviously you're gonna go in November. Please take a look and call me and let me know.
All right.
Because we want to make sure that there's enough.
I'll call you.
The clerk was made aware during the
All I'm
primary
just saying
that
is,
additional signs were needed.
We will
and
put
also,
additional
since we're
signs.
moving a location over there'll be more people going there, so
Absolutely.
that the parking lot, I remember even the parking lot, the way it was barricaded off, It wasn't very clear. I know how to park on the opposite side. I just wanted to bring that up, you
Yeah,
know.
we will.
And also, since that's gonna have
They're
4,
gonna get extra signs anyway.
you're taking
We're
my,
gonna make sure.
I want extra time, it's rhetorical.
I want to reassure you that
No.
this is a polling place change.
Yes.
We're gonna give them all the signs they need.
Okay, no,
We
that's
will have
great.
it out there.
Okay, and also, since it's 4 districts, and the community center in South Brunswick is also 4 districts, all right? It's an early voting site and a polling location on election day. They use the huge cradle for that, so since now we're adding another district, that would be that we'll have 8 books there, 8 books instead of 6.
Eight books.
See, but he was just saying it. I was just wanting to make sure that we have it, okay?
I can
I
answer
promise
stuff
you.
after.
I just want to make sure that.
I'll answer stuff after.
I know, it's all later, okay.
Charlie?
I promise at 6 o'clock, okay?
Good afternoon once again, Charlie Prattville. I'm disappointed that the board's not taking action towards redistricting today. I know that I provided you with a lot of information about it, and at the end of the day, it seems like the board's approach is wait until there's a problem, and then after that, you'll fix the problem when it's obvious that there's serious imbalances in some places. I sent you, New Brunswick's not even the worst. There's others that are way off, and again, it may not be required by the Supreme Court, but you are empowered to do it by statute, and it does come up whenever somebody in office dies or resigns, and the committees get to pick the replacements. One town has more power than the other town. One part of town has more power than the other town, because the representation is so out of whack, because this board hasn't used its power to correct that inconsistency. And the fact of the matter is that I've provided you with enough evidence to do it. I don't understand why not. You used to do it. And I asked, when was the last time it was done? And it was so long ago, no one can remember.
It was done when we didn't have early voting. It was done when we didn't have absolute mail-in ballot obligations. That's 35% of the vote now that are off or out of that list.
Does not affect my point about
And the point is,
representation.
the only concern the prior boards had were for that, to make sure that voting was accessible to the public, because that's what's important.
And you don't think it's important to have
Everything
equality in
is
the political
important.
party
That's
representation?
why you have an opportunity to speak, etc. I'm just explaining decisions that have been made have kept that concept of my concept alive, which is one person, one vote. That's how things get done in this country.
To be totally honest, this is the opposite of one person, one vote. It's unequal representation.
All these people are
1,500
voting. Is
people,
everybody
2
voting
reps,
in your town?
300 people,
The
2
reps aren't voting for me. I vote, not my representatives, not my committee people. I vote.
When Joe
You
Egan
vote.
resigned, the Democratic Party committee picked the party's nominee. The replacement is now installed in office. His name is Kevin Egan.
Did you vote for Mr. Egan?
I didn't get a chance.
I don't mean to get that nomination. I mean, hasn't it been?
I didn't get a chance to vote for who the Democratic Party's nominee was that year because of this injustice. And I'm just asking you to address it. It's unfair, and I don't understand why not. Is it because there's a cost associated with it? Is it because I'm the one asking? I don't understand why you won't pursue this.
I have a question.
Yes.
Are all your committee seats filled in New Brunswick?
Democratic Party, I believe so.
Democrat.
Republicans, we have almost none. I know when I say we, not me, I'm not a Republican, but
You add more-
New
you
Brunswick
add
has
more-
almost-
you add more districts,
almost
you're gonna
no-
have more
More
cross-examined
Democrats,
committee
right?
people.
What discrepancy?
if it was even, I don't, listen, I'll be honest, I haven't looked at the numbers lately. I don't know if we would have more or less power in the grand scheme of things, but right now we have 28 districts, 56 seats, and I know that some areas of town deserve a lot more power, and some are getting overrepresented in the system. If you look at the numbers, it's a huge imbalance. It's not like a few percentage. It's multiple times as many people packed in those districts, and it's going to continue to change. And we're getting development all over. You brought up in your town, you've got some issues like that. Let's get ahead of it. Let's make sure that every office, including party offices, have equal representation. You have the power to do it under the statute. I'll give credit to Commissioner Jallo, was the only one who actually followed up with me and asked for some more information, and I provided it, and I hope it was helpful, and I hope you considered it. I haven't heard from anybody else other than what's happened in these
Time
meetings.
is up, and we gave you an extra minute.
Oh, well, thank you for that. I appreciate it. I would really prefer if you would do the redistricting, but thank you.
If I could just say one thing. Charlie,
Yes, sir.
happy birthday.
Thank you.
Happy birthday.
Oh, happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Let's start singing.
Okay, I promise this is just, this will be fast, I promise.
I wanted to spend it with you.
All right, so this, I just want to say this is.
3 minutes with no interruptions.
Please, thank you. Okay, so this is just, something that I'm working on, right? And I just wanted to say that I think we've come a long way since 2021 with the ES&S system. You know, it has been a learning experience. We're you know, basically learning as the elections go on. You know that I've always wanted, I think it would be amazing, this is our system, if we had a person to a ballot reconciliation, so we would know all the questions that would happen with person say, dead people are voting, or, you know, wrong address or registration. If you were able to, even if it's post-election, a list of all the people that voted, and they voted, these are the people that voted by machine, mail-in ballot, and provisional. I know that some of them might be a little bit tricky, but the machine ones, everything happens at the polling location, all right? I want to just hand this out to you. You can look at your leisure real fast, okay? Oh, this is not part of it, all right? And I'm not picking on a ballot that's going to look like this. It's just a good example of some things that happened at the polling location. One, sorry, slow. Correct. Because now with ES&S, I feel that what I'm asking for can be done. Just like when you get a cell phone and there's all these apps on the cell phone, okay? You don't know exactly what they can do. I think with the ES&S system, there's probably information or reports that we can utilize and ask them for in order to get what we want, all right? So looking at this record here, you know, I would say, okay, how did this person vote? How does this person vote? And it says here, you know, on early voting, standard. Provisional reissue on election day, two as you say. And you look at this and you say, all right, how did the person vote? Well, if you look at the statewide, which I did, election history file, this person has 2 records, 1 provisional, 1 machine. I also looked at the provisional reject list. The last one is gone, it's on the reject list. But do I believe that this person voted twice? I don't know, because the way this is recorded is when you check in, that's when the record, as I believe, goes to the SBR system. That's how, it doesn't go like that?
No.
You can check somebody in on a poll vote as many times as, like, it doesn't mean that you actually cast a vote.
No, you're right, but it gets recorded, this record gets recorded in the SBR system. No? It doesn't automatically get recorded? Okay, well that's an answer, okay, all right. Okay, so I have the check-in poll books. This is the ENS poll book check-in system, all right? So what I'm saying to you is this schedule is from a guy named Wade Hale, all right? He does them all for the county. I don't really know who he is. I will find, unless you know who he is, I'll find out.
I believe he's the Deputy Division of Elections, Deputy Director of the Division of Elections.
Okay, well, he does this for every single county, and this is the record that I've been trying to tie into. If you remember, in 2023, it was a small sample. This is, I know it's bad, it's very small. At the early voting, the total number I totaled into. And how I did this, and I don't want to get into the weeds, is like I took each record, and you know, a record, and I said, okay, there's 2 standard ballots. I'm going to say the person voted standard. It was standard and provisional. I had made a judgment call, and at the end, I would get a total, and I go, okay, South Brunswick, oh, it ties. This is how I was making it done. With what I'm seeing now is, as we're doing this, there are less reissues at the polling site. The more less reissues we have, the more the poll workers don't issue. If they have to, I understand, but if they don't have to do it, this can be accomplished, especially on the machines. This can be accomplished with the ES&S system because they show who checked in and the name, and they show how they want to vote. Wouldn't that be wonderful to have a record? I know you smile at me like I'm like in the middle of Oz, but You have ballots.
Time is up, Ken.
Ah, all right.
Gave you an extra minute and
Okay, all right, but you see where I'm coming. All right,
Your
so,
birthday.
to be continued. What?
We give you extra minutes, not even your birthday.
Oh, it is my birthday! What are you talking about?
Wait a minute, we can look that up.
Ah!
I want to see your ID.
All right. Ah! 21. All right, so, to be continued.
motion to go into executive session.
I would love to have, I know you're trying to do that.
So moved, and it's second.
Yes.
For what reason?
Yes. Forward.
Forward.
More work and complaints.
Commissioner Katz,
Yes.
Commissioner Moskowitz,
Yes.
Commissioner Benjamin, Commissioner Snyder.
Michael,
Yes.
I'm gonna change your phone number. I'm gonna run the data file, send it.